Welcome back to the North American Challengers League. Evil Geniuses versus Immortals, now done. Got game number 2 waiting in the wings, but before we hop onto that, we got to do our halftime segment. And today, it's going to be based or misplaced. If you were in Twitch chat, then you probably knew I was egging you guys on for some takes. Well, we are going to put those here and ask our casters, are they based or are they misplaced? Try and bring your best analyst out of the crowd. So, you guys ready?
Yeah, seems pretty straightforward.
Well, yes, easy enough.
Did we yoink this one from LCS? I must say it's
No. Unique and original. And original.
I'm down. You know, I'm always down.
I yoinked it from Sierra, wherever she yoinked it from. That's her thing. Let's get on to the first one.
Okay.
All right, first card gonna come up right now. This one has to do with mobility. Should he play out the rest of the spring? Evil Geniuses can't take another swap. Is that based or misplaced? Alex, lead us.
That's a pretty good take, actually. I'm kind of here for it. Like even if I think EGC like struggle like with keeping mobility on, I think it's just an interesting take because then it gives mobility even more time. It allows them to then regroup when looking at summer, because bringing in King, well, maybe it can help out with some things, but then we've also talked about the synergy problems that we've seen across the board for EGC. Having another person brought in so late could backfire, but we've also seen the opposite. I was talking about Chad and how he was brought in last minute for 100 Thieves Academy back in 2021.
Or Gomsu last year.
Gomsu, Perry, another one. There's a lot of players that we had that stepped in last minute and then made the run all the way to finals. So could be another one of those stories, but I kind of like mobility. I think mobility's grown a lot on me over the season.
He has, and mobility's made the most of his opportunity. This take's misplaced. They should play King when he gets here.
You know what? I'm a little bit on the fence about this one because I think the marksman role is the easiest one to really swap around there. Yes. So, you know, pulling in King isn't going to be, I believe, the biggest detriment, but all respect to mobility because he's taken this and ran with it as best as he can. You know, that's off to him. Let's pull up the next card. This has to deal with game number 1, specifically the draft of game number 1. That is, Immortals draft is glorious / Immortals more based draft. Cubby, lead us this time. This was Cho, J4, Vel'Koz.
Oh, it's super
Aphelios,
based. Right, super based. So here's why. J4, I explained the interaction in the Xayah, also into Annie. You can buffer both. Cho'Gath is hella frontline for Vel'Koz. Same with Thresh. You can peel for both Kaz and Aphelios. It was a really solid top-to-bottom draft. I think it's a really tough game for EG to play out. And of course, Cho'Gath and Renekton is winning when there's no jungle pressure. So, you know, go Cho'Gath.
Alex, how do you feel?
Based. I mean, just Joey's performance on Thresh alone. Every other champion's negligible, in my opinion.
No, it's just based.
I like seeing the Joey Thresh back.
Great Thresh play.
But I also like Khazers, so we got a Vel'Koz out.
Look, I like Vel'Koz too, but Joey stole the show.
That's fair. I can't argue with you on that one. Let's pull up our next card now. And this one is a little bit of a funny one to me because we've had this type of argument before. I think it was Wildcard who argued this during a post interview. But if we could pull up that card right now, has to do with Balulu. As, you know, he did start playing in the LCS, so it's easier to cope dying to Balulu because he's an LCS mid laner now. By the way, this one, courtesy of Beatdown Boulevard. Alex, lead us.
Pretty based. Pretty based.
Or is it misplaced because he didn't even scrim with the team for the whole split? Or the whole league?
I feel like that makes it even more based, man. I feel like that makes it more based.
Nah, you know what? No. Competitive mindset, you should not be proud of dying to anyone either way, no matter who they are. So no, misplaced.
Oh, you know what? Okay.
What you control.
I will backtread on that one. Fair point.
Yeah, what you control, it's up here. Don't let that get to you. All right? It doesn't matter what the opponent is.
I don't know. It's based. I need excuses, man. I need excuses for my poor play.
I've changed my mindset now. I'm with Covey. It's
don't
misplaced.
worry. I use all the excuses for my poor casting when I say the uhs and the ums and then the crutch words and all that.
And of course,
don't worry. Nobody can hear it with me just screaming all the time.
All right, let's move on to our next take. As we do got one about a champion that has been gone for a while, now returning. Thresh being meta again
Oh my
is
god,
based.
super based. It's so
Screw
based.
the Enchanter meta.
Literally,
I was just praising Joey, man. I mean, it's based.
like how based it is. I've been playing more League of Legends recently and playing more support recently because I can play Thresh again. He's my boy, so you know.
All right, all I care about is if I can play Vigar. That's about it.
The story, like you guys all know, is like, you know, I was the Leona Braum 2-trick when I got the GM. The third one was Thresh. It was not above a 50% win rate, but I played a lot of them.
I mean,
I personally played a lot of Thresh, Annie, and Alistair. Those were kind of my favorites to go.
I played a lot of
Cal was
Thresh
my boy,
too, but I've also played with Gale Force.
Notice how we're all support players because we have no hands.
It's true. It's true.
I'm a mid support flex, man. Come on. I also play carries bot lane. I don't play this weak crap. I play Vigars. I play Brand. This is what I'm playing.
I cap out at about time and 2 when it comes to solo lanes, man. It's bad. It's not, and I haven't played for like 6 months, so it'd be really bad right now.
Honestly, Thresh is just a fun champion to watch, especially seeing some
love
supports
Thresh.
make these plays, man. It's a blast. Let's move on to...
He's overtuned, but he needs 1 second off the queue. But why just allow us to have fun for a few patches, please, Riot.
Yeah.
Just for a little bit, right? Just for a little bit. Next
Please.
slide coming in. This one has to do with the bottom lane. Wixie is by far the best player on IMTC. It's a pretty loaded one there. Alex, lead us off with this. I see your interesting face to that last take.
I want to say that yes, it's based, but Bululu exists, so it's misplaced.
Bululu's good. Misplaced. But good game, Wixie. You're playing well.
Yeah, no, Wixie's still a good player. I'm not trying to take that away from him.
But
it's just Bululu exists.
Yeah, Bululu's been kind of crazy.
Let's put a world where Bululu fully dedicated to the LCS. We don't know who their mid is. What about now?
Probably.
You're on Chad, Alex?
So I still say misplaced.
I would say Wixie is probably...
actually, no, it's a tie. Because I feel
I gotta go through some tape. You got me thinking about tape now.
And I'm always going to be a big Chad stan, so that's also like...
Yeah, I don't know. I think that Chad, Joey, like, they make the team work or not, and then Wixie
They do, and then... right, that's why, like, it's hard, because I feel like those three just work well together.
I mean, I think that, like...
Three.
It's kind of hard to say, like, when a marksman's the best player, unless you're playing, like, Unforgiven.
Right.
Just because, like, you're kind of like along for the ride in that role quite a bit. So I think Wixie's done well, but I don't know. For me, it's like, you know, you make plays through jungle support. So,
okay, if Draven was still in meta, I'd probably give it to Wixie.
I vote with my heart, and I was a big fan of Wixie's redemption arc last split. I like seeing Wixie in the Challengers League, so I'm a fan. I'm going to say this is more onto the base side. I do like Wixie to that extent.
More Draven, and then I'll change my mind.
Draven. All right, more cards. Let's get the next one up right now. This one's from Whoopley. You gotta love Whoopley takes. Anime girl would beat Soul in a 1v1.
Based.
misplaced. Don't do my boy Soul like that.
Nah.
I mean,
it's not misplaced. It's
technically
totally based.
one person has to win, so, and they're the same person. So.
Anime girl wins just by the name. Sorry, it was a better name.
It was a better name, and also when he was anime girl, it was also when he was like dominating with Gwen. So
he still is dominating with Gwen.
He still is, but there's just not as many Gwen games as it was back then.
Yeah, because Gwen's not turbo broken anymore.
Right, and that's what I'm trying to say. It's like
she's only kind of broken in certain games.
It's not even a player difference. It's a patch difference, is what we're getting at right now.
Oh,
the thing is, if he still played Gwen, even like I know it was nutty, but like even now when he plays Gwen, it's still good. But it's hard to argue when you had such a broken champion, and you're like, I'm really good at this broken champion too.
All right.
Was not okay.
We don't got much time left, so let's pull up our last card before we get into draft. With a certain new champion that has popped up, fresh of a rework, Aurelion Sol is overrated.
I'm gonna opt to change this and say the most base take was what Pretty said earlier in the interview, and that he really doesn't like champs like this in the game because it's either you have to win or you get outscaled, and I 100% agree. I think the ult is garbage. This champ. Okay. I have a lot of problems with this champion.
I love the ult. It's just visually stunning, right?
Yeah, but like it really literally
cool.
like there's no counterplay.
No.
You just die.
Yeah. I'm not
crap.
trying. Look, listen. I'm not trying to argue.
Let him know, Cubby. Let him know, man.
The only counterplay is to literally play like.
cool.
No,
It looks so cool, Cubby.
The counterplay is like to literally play like Zed Zack into it and just dogpile him every fight. And if you do that and it fails at all, guess what? He stacks Stardust, and then he stacks up health, and then he stacks up damage, and then you just melt.
But it looks
hate this
so
champion.
cool, Cubby.
I
Tell him,
detest
Cubby.
this champion being in League of Legends.
This champion's made Cubby
Bring
unhinged.
back old Aurelion Sol. His W had like one of the most unique movement. You had
Okay,
to
wait,
move
hold on,
to
time out, time
maximize
out.
your damage correctly.
Time out.
And it was a cool mechanic. It was legitimately cool.
I'll take one step further. Bring back original Aurelion Sol, where it was the toggle on his W.
Let me take that one step even
that was
further.
not good level 1,
Let's
though.
bring back
It was
the
terrible.
draft. How about that, huh?
Really good champion.
Okay, yeah, let's bring it back.
Yeah,
do have a game
we got
soon.
draft ready, so let's bring that back. I'm gonna bid you guys farewell. Go ahead and take us to our final game of the day. Have a good time.
All right, so what, Cubby, base or misplaced that whole segment?
No, I think it was based. You know what
Yeah, I
LCS
agree.
needs to do for the next this or that? Jat, giving you free ideas here. All right, you ready? Who's the more powerful Elder Dragon? And just say like 40-minute Aurelion Sol or like Elder. Like that's it. Like, and then you have
That
to pick
actually
like
is a
which
good
one.
one. No,
Yeah, it's a good this or that.
That's actually a really good one. That's a good. Someone get this clip, put it on Twitter, tag them. Get
Actually,
them part
please
of this.
spread all the propaganda you can about Aurelion Sol just being bullcrap because we need to get this champion nerfed. I really despise this champion being in the League of Legends.
I have a feeling he's gonna get nerfed after a patch.
Really?
Yeah, I know.
What makes you think
shocking,
that?
Shocking. But okay, enough of this. We aren't seeing it just yet. We'll see if it gets locked in this game because right now we do have Zoe banned away from Balulu, but same bans from IMTC, which allowed Annie for Smoothie in the bot lane again.
Can I predict what's going to happen in this draft?
Go for it.
We're going to have a salty run back, except EG is going to blind Shogath instead of Renekton.
Ooh. Okay.
Ready?
All right. Let's see. Let's see. Let's have it.
Cybercon, do it. Or, I mean, you could have another bot lane response. You actually could have a response here to, like, take a jungler and have it not be... yeah, okay, you could change things up here. Gah. I thought it was so cool calling the... I want to see
I
more
mean, they
blind
haven't
show.
locked it in yet.
Yeah.
All right, now they have. Never
Okay,
mind.
well,
it's too late
it's
now.
not going to be in
It's doomed.
Malzahar.
It's doomed.
Yeah.
So,
I
alright.
would like to maintain the Aniflex if possible. So I wouldn't hate, seeing a Wukong here. Because at least then you at least get to pretend that the Annie could be mid or support. I think Graves is fine here too if you want to blind the jungler. So
like it.
again, maintaining the Aniflex I think is a little bit better, a little bit more strength and draft now for EG as we move into the next phase.
This kind of, to me, tells me that it's more than likely going to be Ryoma back on Annie, just to help build up Shaden. This is something that we talk about with Shaden, why he's been such a hyped up player. When he's put on carries, he's given the time of day to be the leader with all. He'll show up every time. This guy is really good at that. But Chad, okay, laying down the gauntlet against his old housemate.
It's funny too because when these guys were roommates, like Shaden hit rank 1 and rank 2, and a lot of that was from his Kindred play. And
His
he,
Kindred
if
Graves.
anyone's, yeah, I mean both of these players should know that matchup really well. I know talking with Chad, like I kind of asked him like, hey, like what was that relationship like? Like did you guys get along? He said it's great. It's still great. He's like, I miss the days where like I went 0-4 in scrims and Shaden would be like streaming for like 22 hours straight, and then we'd like go get, like go to like local gas station, like get snacks, just like talk about like league and jungle. And he's like, we still try and push each other to be better, which is pretty cool. Seems like there was a really good relationship there between those two players. They did help each other get here in some way. So really cool to see them continue that, even if they are foes on the Rift. We'll see if Shaden can get better than them in game 2, as we do have some supports being taken away by the side of Immortals, and EG taking away some top laners that might be a problem. I respect the Olaf ban, given what they're showing so far.
Yeah, Olaf, I think, is also just a champion that
NTK here? Ooh.
slept on
They
a
want
lot.
Sion.
No, yeah, that's definitely a Sion angle, which then could put Soul onto that Cho'Gath, but they decide instead to ban away Sion, which to me, I'm kind of getting the flashback a little bit here for IMTC. It's screaming, pick Cho'Gath.
Shogath is really good here if Immortals wants it. Because then you can actually respond to the Annie. This is a good blind. It buys so much space for both Aphelios and Kindred. I also think Cho'Gath is stronger than Sion.
I mean, the voices in my head
is
told me
blind.
correct for once, Cubby. The
All right,
Cho'Gath
well,
was good.
I mean, even Camille's like not the best matchup here for Cho. For like Camille can play in the Cho, but it's like not the best. Trying to think of like Soul Champs. Okay, it's just gonna be Gnar.
Okay, Gnar.
So I will say the Mega Gnar for the Gnar, pretty good against Lamb's Respite. You could have some really creative plays around that. This is a matchup where the movement speed does help you against Cho'Gath. Definitely something that Soul's comfortable with. So hopefully we can see a little bit of improvement here as we have decision time for EG. Where's that Annie going? Is it mid or is it support?
It looks like it is going to be support after all. That Azir does get locked in for Ryoma. Nope, it is going to be instead a Ryze, but still the same. That's going to be Annie into the spot lane.
I'd be surprised to see Ahri, as I think Ryze is considered a decent matchup into Ahri.
Yes.
And again, Balulu picking the winner here. Is worth noting his Zoe is down. Ryze, a lot of power and can enable the Graves. So again, EG, big focus on the early game. I would love Galio here as Galio Kindred. Strong combo, more frontline. Okay. I like it. It's the pick. We've been seeing so much Galio, especially in LPL, being played into Ryze. Yes. Love to see IMT and Balulu reach for that. Synergize as well with the Kindred. Again, buying space for the double marksman comp. It's going to be a little bit low magic damage here for IMT, but should be okay.
I think it'll be fine. They'll make up for a lot of it, because you look on the other side, it's not like EGC have the best frontline tools. Gnar, when he's Mega, maybe, but you can still burn through that pretty quickly with a lot of the burst damage as well as like true damage that you can get from Kindred. So I look at what has been drafted right now from IMTC, and again, I like this composition. I like seeing that Galio, like you were talking about, paired up with Chad on Kindred, the Cho'Gath. But on the other side, I do like this composition a lot better for EGC as well. The Gnar matchup into Cho'Gath especially, I'm looking at that. The kiting potential you have on Gnar, especially early into the game.
It's just going to be so hard because I feel like mobility almost has to go on hit Varus into Cho'Gath Galio. And that
kind of does.
It does not feel good in a lot of the stages of the game. Is okay, no, it's not going to be the on hit. It's going to be the poke. So again, more focus on that early game here for EG.
As we load up onto the Rift, it is our final game of the day, day 1 of week 7. Of course, we will have more action all weekend long. It is our final week of regular season play before we have to get everyone seated up, ready to go for playoffs.
And EG trying to put some more wins on the board, not be that last place Challengers team that we have in the league. As EG, hopefully we can get them, see them, continue to scale a little bit. As this game, I think a lot of it's going to be about Balulu on the Galio, because Kindred, you do have the ability to make some early plays into the Graves, given that you have Galio into Ryze. And I'm really curious to see if Chad tries to get active at all in the Shaden, as Balulu and how strong Galio is early can really warp that matchup and almost lean it in favor of Kindred when it usually is in favor of the Graves.
I believe that's the new Galio skin, too.
Nah, this one's been around.
Has it been around? Because it looks... I thought this was the one that came out like 3 patches ago.
I don't know, man. I'm not familiar on the skins. That was the new Vel'Koz skin to me in the last game. So, whatever Balulu's feeling, he's got it. As perfect creeps on the first wave,
not bad.
Covers over to the Raptors, and we'll see.
Nice ward too.
Yeah. Chad, of course, is spotted in his camp, but each of our junglers working their way towards the bot lane, as it should be winning lanes here for EG outside of mid. Mid, Balulu will have shove, especially early as the Galio. And I think one of the things that we'll have to look out for as the game goes on, of course, we have talked a lot about the team fight, how we really like to set up for IMT, but EG do have the ability to side with Ryze, and we'll see if EG can execute upon that. That's the one way they're going to be able to fight around IMT later in the game.
Not really going to have that ability to side lane against the Ryze either for IMTC.
Yeah.
With Galio Cho'Gath, this is a team fight composition drafted by IMTC, looking for those plays. Well, early game, we're still looking at EGC, as you talked about. 2 winning lanes, top side, bot side. I want to see how they utilize this. If they just try to continue to exert pressure, so Chad can't look for his patented level 3 ganks as he usually does, and give a little bit of extra freedom to Shaden.
I think so far, Chad's doing A-okay. He has skipped over a camp to be.
Oh, it's not that. It's just it's the patented, trademarked level 3 gank of Chad.
Well, he's actually playing for that patented trademark, trying to flip Kindred Mark on the right crab play at the moment. As we'll see if he draws bot or top crab. Crab spawns here in a few seconds.
It's not really patented. That's just any Kindred game.
That's Kindred strats, baby. Come on.
Oh, okay. Hey, he got the flip. He got the flip.
Hey, let's go, Chad. See, he still found a way to flip something. Level 3.
This is true. Leave it to Chad to somehow have the gamble work out for him on Scuttle early into the game.
I think it's the third tweet we've seen from Brizzy on broadcast today, and now they're even spreading my propaganda after they said that them and Sketch were leading the Cubby fan club. I've been PayPaling Bad Magical under the table. I might regret that, as my bank account is going to be hurting if this continues.
Make sure you follow him on twitter.com.
Yep. Okay, another $10 going your way. Yep. Yep. All right, I get it.
Oh, $10. You've increased it. Last time it was $7.50.
Oh no, he said it was 5, and I said no.
I know,
do not make me sound that cheap.
Well, right, and I mean I was lying because I was trying to get the raise, but it was just from $7.50.
Well, see, Matt Magical, you drove a hard bargain, and that paid off for you in the negotiation table. It was more than what you thought. So congratulations. That's a good tactic right there. Just let me let me blunder my negotiations on my own.
Love it. Love to see it. It's right now getting some resets for both sides. The TP already utilized by both Ryoma and Balulu getting back to their respective lanes. Yep. Not expecting to see too much action. Really, I'm looking at if there's going to be a play made by one of these side lanes from EGC, if they can find a good pick out of someone. But if that doesn't happen, it's really going to be off the back of how these junglers interact.
Honestly, the thing I'm really looking out for is like what Soul builds first. I know it sounds kind of weird. But I think Soul, I'm curious if he goes Cleaver first in this matchup, or if it, I mean, Triforce is so good on Gnar, but he's gonna have a lot of armor to get through.
I could understand the Cleaver. It's got merits. The Triforce is just so good on him.
This is a very early Dragon start. Dragon does so much damage at this point. This is good. Ryoma has 6. Blue does not.
Look at Balulu, though. He was looking for Ryoma. Does get the flash out of him regardless. Now it's good.
Ooh,
nice
Smoothie.
engage from Smoothie to pick up first blood on a Chad. Well, IMTC trying to get back towards the turret, but they can't. Just as much body blocked by Shaden for a double kill out of Ryoma.
What a start to the fight from Smoothie Man. That level 3 Annie packed a punch as the 4-man W starts things off for EG, and EG, they're in this series.
Smoothly saying, all right, yeah, you're praising Joey. How many death sentence and hooks he landed last time? Let me show you up with the Annie with that huge W 4-man stun.
What a big start here for EG as the tempo of IMT gets killed by that play. And again, when you start dragging this early, it does a lot of damage. So IMT didn't set their waves up correctly. EG drop a few, find the play well worth it on their end as we're going to look again. Yeah, look at the waves. They're in the middle of each lane. So Ryoma flashes over. He has 6, but it's all about Smoothie, that big stun. Love the insta follow-up from Shaden, too, as he flashes into the wall to make sure that Q gets the bounce. He takes down Chad, and then the body block here on Balulu. Really well done by the side of EG.
This is a dream come true for EGC, because both kills went onto Ryoma. We were hyping up how the side lanes are already impossible for IMTC to deal with initially against a Rise. Now he's gotten 2 kills, accelerated gold. He'll be fine mid lane as well, making sure that anytime he's with the team or without the team, he's going to be nigh impossible to deal with.
Oh, I think he is the team at this point. As this 2-0 Rise, he's going to be leading the squad wherever he wants. This Ryoma coming in. I know, talking with EG, Ryoma's been... He's here to try and mentor Shaden. And I know that the EG staff has been singing some praises over to Tommy. No surprise, given the reputation that he has in the scene. But he said he's been really helpful and trying to help Shaden. And he's been teaching Shaden how to play around mid quite a bit. The way EG put it. Which, always nice as Ryoma's gotten some help too. And we'll see. Again, if Shaden and Ryoma can sync up this game, when you're playing Rise Graves, really important that you're on the same page, able to make plays together. Rift Herald's coming up here in 20 seconds. Definitely something that EG is going to have their eyes on, given the lead they have now in mid.
I kind of want to continue this point on Ryoma. Interesting. We'll talk about that.
Maybe Abyssal Mask? Okay, yeah. Later.
Because I really want to talk about Ryoma. And I like that you mentioned that he was really brought in to kind of help mentor and teach Shaden a lot of things about the mid-jungle duo. But for Ryoma, this player has such a storied history when it comes to the chances he was given initially when brought over, where you started off as the mid laner, wore 100 Thieves, then went to the academy scene. Even up until last year, you saw that teams weren't sure if they wanted to invest with him, as he had to play in the Proving Grounds on an open qualifiers team. But he's still a damn good player that they can fall back onto anytime. And right there, they've got a Realm Warp from Ryoma on the other side, though he has bounced around. Has enough damage if need be to look for Chad. The bounce does not connect onto Chad just yet. The snipe neither. Looking for the re-engage and a huge play from Joey. And this is a portal combat if I've ever seen one. Each one of them trying to upshow the other as Smoothly still survives.
AD's here.
And mobility. You can't get out of this one. He is easily devoured even if the feast wasn't used. And now they're hunting. They're looking to stop these recalls, not in time. Just cancel Shadens.
All right, I was on the wrong side of the map. I mean, ADD, he came up here. Smoothie does get the execute off. That's pretty good, but ADD's roam. He's going to lose a lot for this, but it does make sure the fight goes the way of Immortals.
Yeah, they get crucial picks there, even if Smoothie was able to execute. They delay a lot out of Ryoma, and like you talked about, it's the play that they were able to make onto mobility afterwards with ADD roaming down.
It's a really nice brush play from Joey that starts it off as Lamb's Respite, not enough for Smoothie. And EG have to head for the hills immediately again. This is the strength of Galio. You just fight behind him early. He's like, early game, he's so tanky. He does so much damage and controls so much space that it's really tough for EG to fight around him, especially when the fight starts on the terms of Joey's Thresh, who again comes up big in that play. But in the post-fight, EG, they're the ones that are on the map first. They're going to try and take down this Rift Herald. And I got to say, given what ADD sacrificed to roam down bot, he has to reset now. And this should be all EG.
Should be an easy take. I'm not expecting any contesting. Even looking at IMTC and how they're positioning, they'd much rather get that stack for Chad on Raptors, and you can see how he's pathing immediately for it.
Yeah, again, the response to Herald when you're going to give it up for free, it's to cut off EG on their way bot. So Shaden, he's going to reset so he can maybe walk through the lane with Smoothie, try and take control of this bot side jungle again, as will be another mark for Chad going over, as he's going to take away the Raptors of Shaden. That's going to feel pretty good here for the Kindred. So Chad has been able to recover all right, as the Rod of Ages Cho'Gath is in.
It is, wow.
Interesting.
Right, I was expecting the Abyssal Mask. I'll be honest. That's why I didn't want to full send it on the Rod of Ages for ADD. But you said the lack of damage that they had from AP. ADD saying, all right, you forgot about AP Cho'Gath and how powerful that can be.
It is something like when Nar's mini, he has ways to get out of the Rupture, but it is something that is still pretty powerful. I gotta say, I think that Everfrost is the only way that you can actually kill Nar, or think about it. But hey, Rod's gonna stack up nicely. Oh boy.
Joey.
Be fishing.
Wait. He is looking for it. The next on a Smoothie. Doesn't want to go over because it was on a Smoothie. Would have been probably pretty bad, especially with that stun channeled up. And wait, flash over onto Shaden! Joey! Holy hell! He always does this! How does he keep it up as they got Balulu into the backline? Massive fight out of IMTC! Even if the snipe happens for mobility, 3 die on EGC.
Soul's here.
He wants to battle this one, and they've got Soul, as you talked about, and he's about to go Mega. Everyone's already... They've retreated back. Balulu's not done, though. He really wants this fight to happen.
I love how aggressively IMT are playing around this Galio early, and Joey, again, is the one setting the pace here, Mad Magical, as all these plays, all these hooks, they've been coming up the side of IMT.
Every time. I mean, right here, he lands one on Smoothie, says, not the target I want. Then he's like, you know what, I'll just flash over, and we'll see who I get.
I mean, it's a nice chunk, and the big thing here is that Ryoma, look at Ryoma. He's showing on mid-wave. Yes, he has Realm Warp, but he's way out of the play. Balulu was already here. That's all they needed for Joey to pull the trigger. And he knows, like, even if it gets chunked, just starting that fight, it's winning. And Balulu capitalizes on it. Really well played by IMT and Balulu to hover down there.
And Joey does get sniped by the piercing arrow. Probably would have died regardless, since Ryoma was right behind him. But he is the hero of that play, and continues to be a hero with his Thresh play in this series.
Thresh is back, man. It's damn good. But in the post play, I will say, EG, they were able to take the Dragon, and now they're going to get some plates over to that Varus bot. So still, Immortals coming up positive with some of these plays. I also will say, Once Wixie, I believe he's going to rush that BT again. It will be really tough for Varus to get through. Yeah, he does have that completed. So Oak Varus going to be able to be sustained up here by the side of IMT as Soul can't find Chad. He knows that he's got to be careful around that wave. Given that they just...
Importantes. 4 stacks on Chad.
Oh, he's got 4?
He's got 4.
Oh boy. That's the start.
Yep, that's pretty much when you become a champion as Kindred. Get in the 4 stacks. Earlier the better. And he's gone back and gotten a Kraken Slayer on top of it.
It's not like you're not a champ isn't like, you're not a champ like Kane version. You're still Kindred.
Oh, okay, yeah, not as bad as Kane, but not much better.
Oh, good start here for Chad as 4 stacks and being even in CS will feel good against Shaden on the Graves and EG. Gotta say, this Galio has been able to rival some of the early game plans they had. It was a 2-0 Ryoma. He hasn't been able to get anything else, though, as the play of IMT and Balulu. It's been holding strong.
Nice rupture from ADD as Soul was just about to go Mega. Constantly is landing these, looking for a little bit of harass onto Soul as he is Mega. You don't really want to fight this if you're Soul. He just uses that mostly to clear out the minion waves.
Yep. Nar, you want to trade and use your Mega Pops to get health back. Cho'Gath still going to feel okay as... Uh-oh.
Oh, you fell into his trap. You fell into Joey's trap, and he gets slammed down by Balulu.
Joey's Thresh, man. It ran the Rift in Game 1, and it's back with a vengeance in Game 2 again. Every
I had hope, though, Cubby. I had hope because Smoothie had that huge play on Annie earlier, and then Joey's just like, anything you can do, I can do better.
I mean, it's so refreshing for IMT because, again, Joey, he loves to play engagers. This is one of the more experienced members that IMT has. Him and Chad set the Rift. They run the Rift. And when Joey's able to play engagers, it opens up Chad to play that offensive champion pool. And at least in this series, IMT, they've looked much better, much improved compared to what we've seen in past weeks as they're syncing up really well. And it is off the back of Joey setting the pace.
Joey, Chad, the 2 remaining members from the 2022 team as well. The Upset Kings, the team that everyone would always count out and then somehow would make these deep runs in Proving Grounds. And right now, with how they're playing towards the latter half of the split here in our last week as well, this is good momentum to carry and utilize from both of your returning players.
I had to say, Joey and Chad syncing up like as a duo. It sounds like the frat house you don't want to walk into. Joey just punishing EG anytime they walk close.
I thought I was away from Josh for a bit. You gotta bring up humor like Josh does.
No, well, come on. That was nothing like that as ADD takes the lantern out. Rift Herald gonna be up for grabs here in a couple of seconds as each team is postured around. Again, all eyes on Joey.
Landing the death sentence onto Ryoma.
Poke.
A little bit of poke. Nice rupture as well with the root from the Gravitum. Getting pretty low. The Soul's on the other side, working on getting that Gnar bar up. Well, they will reset Ryoma. He has TP back if he needs to utilize that. Recall, there it is. 50% on Rift Herald. It's EGC posturing around. Far better position for them to be than last game. The Smoothies caught out. They're the focus that they look for. Chasing him away. The Devour make sure they get a killing spree out of Wixie. Now they got to get the fight inside of the pit. While Soul, the Gnar a little too early. They turn for Ryoma. He flashes, but Moonlight Vigil double kill for Wixie.
Guys, how OP is Cho'Gath? Like, how much space does this guy control against the immobile carries of EG? Every rupture, him and Joey are just dictating everything when they group, and it's been Cho'Gath, I think, who's been a real problem champion both of these games, Matt Magical.
I mean, definitely has. Cho'Gath, I think, is just a problem champion in general.
How did he get buffed this patch?
People were sleeping on him. People didn't realize just how powerful he was, and now they're all seeing the might that Godzilla has on the Rift.
I mean, I was on the Orianna train before Cho'Gath. I'm still hoping that people catch up to that. But yeah, the Cho'Gath train, that one was way too easy. Once I started seeing Sion picked, it's like, where the hell was Cho'Gath? And now we're seeing Cho'Gath being blinded and taking wins as, again, ADD. He connects with that rupture. Just look at all the space he buys. So, all right, Annie dies. All right, Ryoma. Okay, no, you cannot walk up. Wixie finds the root. Ryoma gets split from the rest of the fight. All right, yeah, okay, you get silenced. You can't machine gun anymore. All right, you flash over the wall. That's another rupture. That's like on a 6-second cooldown plus ability haste. That's chill. Cho'Gath just running the Rift here against the immobile carries of EG. Real problem moving forward for EG is, again, they're going to be relegated to side laning. They cannot fight as a group. it's going to be all about what they can find in these skirmishes.
And this is where we can turn our attention to Wixie as well, where you can make an argument maybe he's just Ghost and he's getting a lot of these kills for free, but he is there to provide that damage. The double marksman composition that they have, a lot of that with the spacing Wixie has utilized, making sure that nobody can even touch them. He just falls behind in line with ADD and says, wherever Cho'Gath is, I'm going to be right behind him.
I mean, like, how easy is it for Wixie to play when you have Cho'Gath Galio in front of you?
I mean, you still got to play it well.
It's... Oh, man. Oh, boy. Okay, here we go. Death sentence.
He gets picked out. Look at all this. He just bounced around. What can he do? He couldn't move.
IMT, the death ball's here to play, man. As Cho'Gath Galio, again, run of the rift. Wixie's able to free fire on the Aphelios. The poke from Varus does nothing in this game. As IMT up 3k gold. They have the competent scales. They are cruising again, Mad Magical. And how different this team looks when Joey is able to set the pace is incredible.
Flash 4 and 2 from Balulu. Does get some space.
Nice rupture.
Tries to see if they can look for anything else. Soul was low, nearly chunked out there by the Shurikens. Wixie, the rest of the team, they'll fall back. They've gotten their prize. They're winning out this game so far.
Shaden, I mean, again, he's getting a little feisty here. It feels like he kind of has to, given where this game's at and given what the scaling is, as, okay.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Smoothie.
Soul TP'd. I mean, EG is just reaching for anything. They're grasping at straws. Baron spawns in 10 seconds. Do we just see IMT start it? Okay.
No. They get,
okay.
It
is IMT.
Gold.
It is IMT.
It is true. It is IMT. But there's a lot of gold that they have in their pockets. Their coffers are filled, and they want that IE for Wixie.
Okay. Well, that is going to be the IE for Wixie. And the Shirelli is out of base as it's zoom for IMT. They're going to try and wrap this game up even faster than the last one. I mean, we did talk about the last game. IMT, they have had some issues in closing out games. This game, there's been absolutely no issue, Mad Magical. I think they played really well to their comp. And we'll see if IMT, again... Moving forward, this is a team where Chad talked about, hey, I've always stepped up in playoffs. This is a team that has done better in playoffs than what we've seen from the regular season in terms of the core of this roster. And IMT, the last week of the regular season, they're setting quite the statement to the rest of the league here. They are here to play when it matters. IMT getting started early, playing really well today.
I mean, incredibly well. This is night and day from what we've seen from the rest of the season. Looking at this IMTC team, you can make an argument, EGC, the bottom of the barrel challenger teams that we have at the moment, they still have such great talent on their side. So having this convincing of a win for IMTC, if they get this 2-0 over them, is going to speak dividends for them when we look towards playoffs.
That's where all of our focus is right now. We started the day talking about our... provisional teams that are trying to not be relegated.
Nice cleanse.
Nice cleanse, but hey, wasted something for EG. Might be able to punish that later once Mobility gets that cooldown back. But Mobility right now, he's got to head for the hills. Oh, it's Cho'Gath. Nice speed up.
You missed the rupture.
Nice speed up.
Nice speed up. Keeps him alive all the while. Ryoma doing the one thing they can. This is something we talked about before. The power that EGC have with Ryoma on this rise. Nobody can match him 1v1, not even the Cho'Gath. But the biggest problem is going to be that if multiple members look towards Ryoma, he'll die in an instant.
Yeah, and with no one else showing on the map, Ryoma, he's going to hit that recall button and get back to base as IMT, Blue. They're pinging a few places that he could be. They don't see him exit. So at least Ryoma, you can see there, was able to stretch out the map a little bit, forced a reset out of Immortals. And honestly, EG, they don't care too much about the Dragon. That said, once Wixie finishes his, what I expect to be a Gale Force, he will be shredding the Baron, if that is going to be any option here for Immortals, as double marksman going up against this. Cleaver almost done here for Chad. That Baron's not going to be long for this world.
No, not at all. And EGC, playing from a 4,000 gold deficit, not really the worst in the world. And one thing that has kind of helped bridge them, at least to get to a point where they could be relatively even, is they did get the first 2 dragons of the game. But Ryoma, I talked about this. When multiple members show up, there is no escape.
it's still pretty bad. As
Yeah, I know.
Ryoma
I was
can't even take the
trying
frogs.
to build them up. And they're like,
Oh boy! All right, here we go. We're getting weird.
You just got Joey'd. That is exactly what happened.
It's back,
Perfect
baby.
timing. You
The
just
copy
got
pasta's
Joey'd.
back.
And now it looks like that's going to happen
You're
again.
about to get Galio'd.
Look at Galio. Look
You're
at
about
the
to get
position. That's a little too early.
He didn't go
Blasco
over.
not just yet. Didn't go over. Waiting it out, and here he is.
He hits the
Justice
jet.
punch on the soul. They didn't land the death sentence combo.
Oh man.
But with 4 members still running, TP, Ryoma could join this one. This has been delayed quite a while, but you can tell Joey, he wants to find the pick. He's looking for that back line. Puts down the box just to create space, but that's going to be TP in from Ryoma. Nobody else is in position, and look at where everyone else is. They've got to be careful, but they've corralled them. They've got the stuns. ADD is low, but he knows. Make sure the Baron goes their way, but the re-engage, the entrance that they got from the heroic entrance of Soul. Pulls back in, Wixie. That's a huge play from Soul. That keeps him alive. Look for the... Oh, wait a minute. No! The Realm Warp betrayal. Everyone falls from EGC as Smoothie runs the wrong way from Soul. Chased down by the scary Jurassic Park monster. Him and Balulu looking for Annie. The speed up, not enough to get away from the rupture. The taunt is there, and the kill is executed for ADD.
Oh, EG knew that was probably their best chance to get back in this game, but they pushed a bit too hard with that Realm Warp as we're going to take a second look. I mean, it's a decent start for EG. They have the double TPs coming in. Soul has to insta-flash to survive, but it's okay because they find a pincer. They find an okay angle. Ryoma does so much damage on this side as Smoothie hit a big Tibbers to kick things off. They force Immortals to retreat, and then Soul in the back half, he finds Wixie, right? So this is okay. They need to push forward, but Ryoma, he sends that Realm Warp straight into a Galio taunt. You can't do that when Galio has W up. Balulu's just holding W, sitting on his butt like, all right, we're just waiting for you guys to land. Eat this, and everyone eats the damage of IMT as EG, their one window to get back in this game, it goes out as fast as it started. IMT shuts that window. Now they're back to a clean one.
Lulu is my goat. Well, I agree with that one.
Hey,
Lulu.
You know what? Tweet that next week with the LCS hashtag. How about that?
Oh, yeah. Get that.
Or later this week. Yeah. No, that would be next week. Anyway, yeah, Balulu. Man, Balulu's, what a splash this guy's made. Like, even before he was promoted, we were kind of talking about as a team, like, hey, Balulu looks really good. Like, is he someone that we think could sub in for ABO? Obviously, ABO decided to take a step back. So Balulu, I guess, kind of gifted that spot, but also was someone that we were even talking about, you know, could be considered given his play in Challengers. Good to see him continue to play well in Challengers. Again, haven't scrimmed with this team at all this week because he's been playing LCS scrims, and IMT is still trying out mids to field 4 PGs. So, man, the performance he's putting on, double duty doesn't look too bad for him, you know? Maybe if he likes these, might be better than scrims.
Could be. I mean,
it's not going to happen, but, you know.
Some players are capable of it, but I agree, probably not likely.
It's not gonna happen. No,
yeah,
I'm just throwing around funny words and ideas at this point, Matt Magical. This game's over. Been a lot of one-sided games in the stream today.
Hold on. My job is to say the funny words and things.
Yeah, I'm switching it up on you. Eat it. I mean, IMT is switching it up on us too. Like, we're used to them having some crazy mid games. They're playing this clean.
They are. This is.
I mean, Baron could have been better, but you know,
Baron could have been better, but good, really good taunt as you had called out. Pretty much saying, "Oh, Realm Warp's right here. I'll just hold W. There's nothing that you can do." And they'll lose that mid lane inhibitor because of the play earlier on for IMTC.
Easy peasy. As moving forward, EG, I mean, there's no way for them to play back into this game. It really is the Ryoma level 16 and Prey angle inside lane, which they are not going to have enough time to do. A lot of that, the lack of time is from how fed Wixie is and how much space ADD can take up is, okay, that's one rupture.
Oh, they did tag Joey. That's a lot of damage. Oh my god, Wixie nearly eviscerated everyone. They do lose Joey, but this play is a 4v5. Diving under, unstoppable ADD, double kill. It's Smoothie and Mobility. Completely tuck tail and run.
Yeah, and Chad, he takes down his old mid laner when he won PG when he was subbing in for 100 Thieves. As him and Balulu, who's subbing in with IMT, they're putting the finishing touches on this one. 2 inhibitors about to fall, and Immortals. I gotta say, these comps with Cho'Gath, a big problem. Teams have to look out for Cho'Gath moving forward, man. This champ should be blinded. ADD is proving it. Cho'Gath buys so much space. He is so valuable for the Aphelios and the Thresh in these games. It's so hard. You can see how hard it is for EG to deal with it.
I mean, how can he deal with it? Even as we talked about how Ryoma can match up with him in a side lane, you're hoping that that's just the Cho'Gath.
Yeah, I want
Cho'Gath doesn't want to be in the side lane. He wants to be with the rest of the team.
I want to send like these 2 games to like every top laner that we have in NACL and also LCS and be like, why are we not blinding Cho'Gath? That's my response.
I wouldn't be surprised if after like a week of play, we just see perma bans on Cho'Gath.
This champ, why are we banning Sion when this champ exists? That's all I'll say. As well, it's a good start here as Mobility has a really nice chain of corruption, but oh boy, the 5-man ult from Wixie. That was pretty based. Definitely not misplaced, as that was placed perfectly. And then just another rupture hits. Ryoma can't move. Flash eat. Chad cleans up his old teammate, and easy peasy.
Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Every inhibitor turret, they're gone. Every inhibitor is gone. Double super minions in every single lane. It's just icing on the cake at this point for IMTC. Close this game out. The hope and a prayer is there for EGC. They're nearly 10K
go
down.
on, Chad.
They're looking for Chad, but Chad just hops and skips his way out of there while more minions pour into the base.
I mean, at this point, they're so far ahead. Chad's fine burning his flash to get out of that as Realm Warp. No more repositioning here from Ryoma. They're forced to front to back, and there are a lot of creeps behind him.
That's a lot of minions.
Here comes the last stand.
It's like when you watch those games where Nivea builds up the wall and just gets as many minions stacking as possible to go right down mid lane. That's how this game's feeling right now for EGC. They try to defend, clear out the minion waves, utilizing Ryoma's clear the best they can, but anytime he steps up, it's a threat that he can get engaged on by Joey and ADD.
And IMT, they're actually just, they're piecing. They see Baron up, they're like, you know what?
Making the cautious call.
I mean, I think this is a kind of a... I want to see some more aggression from IMT here. They don't need to do this. This is just... We're just having fun, yeah.
They want to pad the KDAs, I think is how we say it.
I'm asking for clean games and clean wins, but, you know, I'm also asking for our teams to not be weak, as ADD does feast it. That's good.
Hey, no. Remember how we talked about at the beginning of the day? The greedy Cho'Gath play?
Yep. You gotta feast them.
You gotta feast them. It's the greedy Cho'Gath play.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, IMT, at least they don't care about the dragon. And if they went to go take dragon, then I'd actually get mad here. So
it's a greedy Cho'Gath play. They're just waiting until feast is back up, and they're going to peel back.
All right. Sounds good. I mean, they should just wait for the double creep waves to come in because they have Baroned up double super creeps, and then we can stop talking about this game soon because this game is over.
It's been over for a bit.
Yeah. It's been a good one, though. IMT, good looks.
Oh, look, just look at ADD. He's just standing there menacingly. What can they do against him?
Please blind this champion. It's way too OP. We must have more Cho'Gath in our games.
This is just the sales pitch of Covey right now.
Yes.
Everyone, blind him, because right now, they're peeling back. More damage comes in from a Moonlight Vigil, so they can easily topple these structures. Realm Warp behind with a Nora ult on the one, looking to see if they can kill off Chad, but it's not enough as Joey still survives! Stay with Chad, but no! That's a re-engage! ADD's like, hell no, this game's ending.
He's dancing on the Nexus.
He's got the minions, he's just letting the minions win.
Oh my goodness, ADD, the Cho'Gath, both games, just an absolute terror on the Rift as EG. There are 2 early game comps they had. It felt like they got going a little bit in game 2, but it was not for long as Balulu and Galio shut them down, and game 1 was just utter dominance from Immortals, as that's a great 2-0 for them. Again, this is the last week of regular season, so building up that momentum for playoffs, really good for Immortals to now get themselves back to that 500 mark.
Especially because they're playing every single day in this final weekend. They have tomorrow that they have to face off against Dignitas Challengers, and then on Monday, FlyQuest Challengers. 2 very strong teams that they have to go against.
I think the confidence building here matters even more then, given what their schedule is. And hey, we could learn a lot about Immortals this week going into the playoffs. So definitely learned some good things today. Hope that continues.
As do I, but we're going to toss to a break for one last time as we get ready for our final interview of the day. We'll bring back Eric for that with the victorious 2-0 IMTC. We'll see you then.
Welcome back, everyone, to the North American Challengers League. I am joined by Balulu of Immortals Progressive Challengers after a victorious last game. How you feeling, Balulu?
I'm feeling great. One of the first 2-0s we did in Challengers. Feels good. Good games.
Yeah, and it's got to feel jarring as well, because I know there's some issues, situations happen, it resulted in you stepping back in for your old squad again. Just when you think you're gone, they pull you right back in. So what was it like rejoining on such short notice?
I already know the guys. Obviously, we haven't scrimed for 1 week together, and they have tried a little bit of a different path since I stepped down. Different champions, different comps.
A new patch too. So.
Yeah, new patch as well. So it was a bit like we had a long draft meeting, but besides that, it's been great. I'm glad I could help out a little bit with the team, because it's hard for them as well to lose the mid once we had the momentum going as well. But I'm really happy we got two wins today.
Especially in the middle of the rift, that's one of your centerpieces right there that they're missing out on. But great to see you with them once again. This last match, it was against one of the more experienced mid laners in the NACL in Ryoma. Didn't even look like you broke a sweat out there. So reflecting back onto the season, are there players you have gone against that have just outright earned respect from you?
I think Ryoma is the kind of player that is kind of my playstyle a bit.
Mm-hmm.
He is more rounded on like fighting and like picking champions good for a team comp. Other players which I played against yesterday, like Gory, who's really trying to just get every drop out of laning phase and every advantage he can in counter matchups. He made me sweat a little bit yesterday. And also MNS. Those are the kind of players that really try to play to the maximum. Some games they can go 1-7, 1-10 because they're pushing it. But some games they're just like 1v9ing. So it's just a different type of player.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, the LCS. You've played 2 games on the LCS so far, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. We got to see the legendary Balulu Zoe on the Dig match as well. So how was it like going on to the big stage? The audience is there. You're now playing live. What was that experience like?
It was amazing. I would want to say that I'm an experienced veteran player. I don't get nervous, but every time I step on stage, I still have those nerves. Not shaky hands, but these like butterflies in the stomach.
Yeah.
But I think once you get into the game, you just see the screen in front of you and your champion. It's just like any other game. It's just like before the game that you're nervous, maybe like 1 or 2 minutes into the game. But then everything just lets loose and you can focus on the game. But it was a great experience. I had a lot of fun with Zoe.
Heading up to that stage, did the Challenger squad give you any parting gifts, parting words before you had your big debut?
Yeah, I mean, they all came to the arena and had some signs there ready for me. And when I walked up on stage, they started chanting my name and stuff. It was really fun. So big props to those guys. It was adorable, actually. And yeah, they've been very supportive after the games, giving me a lot of compliments and supporting me in every way they can.
I love that. That's true camaraderie right there. Well,
yeah, we're family.
You've had some time in the States now. It's North America, a little bit of a culture change. Is there anything that you find yourself missing from back home every now and then?
Honestly, I think I've come in really smoothly. I really like LA and like living conditions, the foods and everything. Something I miss is obviously my family, my friends, my mom's food sometimes. But generally, I think it's been nothing beats it. But generally, it's been a smooth transition, I'd say, coming from Sweden to America. So I'm glad.
Awesome.
Liking it here.
Some people start to get homesick and it can wear on you a little bit. So I'm glad you're easing in quite smoothly there. Final question coming up. I alluded to this a bit, Olulu. Milk first, then cereal. Why?
Okay, you want the full
Yeah, I want the
explanation
full
here?
thing. I want the full thing.
Okay, so when you put cereal and then milk, the cereal starts to begin the sogging process. And because I like to play while I'm eating, usually, the cereal gets soggy before I can like finish it. And I like them crispy. So if I put the milk first and then the cereal on top always stays like crisp. So when you eat it, that's when you like start to dip them in the milk. That's how you preserve the crispiness of the cereal.
You know what? That's a true gamer answer right there. I like that. It was. It was
Very
being
detailed.
with the games as well.
I thought about that a little bit too much, I think. So I was trying to convince my teammates, but yeah.
Yeah, all 4 of them looked at you so offended when you said that, Blue.
It's how we do it in Sweden. I'm sorry.
You know, it's all right. You got your reason for the madness, and that's all you need. Blue, you got any shout-outs before I let you go?
Shout-outs, damn. To all staff in Immortals, to the LCS squad, Academy squad, just everyone. Being very, very good in these days, very smooth with everything, scrims, practice, official games. I think it's been a good week, even though it has been stressful. It's been a very good week for us as a whole. So big shout out to everyone around, behind the scenes, Robert, Vince, James, and all the coaches. Yeah.
You love to hear it. Thank you so much for joining me, Balulu, and I wish you the best of luck. Not just on the rest of the NACL season, but the LCS season as well. Kick some ass out there, brother.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Have a good one.
Let's bring our casters back so we can close out for the day. Gotta say, that was quite the interview to come through, especially him putting in the double time, still so calm and relaxed, and hearing the camaraderie that Immortals have. It puts a smile on my face.
That's all good. That's all good. But look, okay. So milk and cereal, right? I gotta say, I understand his logic, but I'm gonna even take it a step further. And what I do,
of course you are,
is I get a big cup. I put the cereal in the cup, and then I put the milk in, and then I drink it.
Let's pull up our standings for the day.
Oh boy.
So Challengers League is still going on right now, so we don't have the fully updated standings. I did hear some things about Cloud9 Challengers that got me a little bit worried there. Dignitas very close to overtaking. My beard is on the line, Cubby.
Hey, hold on. I want to say before Cubby says this.
Really?
The CLGC winning this series is kind of showing everyone like why everyone has talked about them being this great team that when they go to
do with my beard, Alex.
They lose. I know, but CLGC, even if it's a late season push, showing why everyone was hyping them up all season long.
So for people that didn't catch that on the other stream, it was a 2-0 for CLGC over C9C. Big deal. And again, I think it just pushes the fact that C9, I think that teams, feel that they are the favorite. I know I visited the TL camp this week, and they definitely felt like, hey, C9 on their best day, they are the team to beat. But they're not invincible by any means. And the fact that CLG 2-0'd them, that is a big deal. Yeah. As now, I believe the only team that has yet to be 2-0'd is actually Dignitas. The C9, they've suffered a couple 0-2s.
And CLG kind of catching up to these expectations we have of them. More specifically, because we keep hearing about how good they are in scrims, now showing that off. Yeah. Taking the best of C9. Good dub there, but got our standing. So that is going to really do it for the day. I mean, it's definitely been a fun one having you guys here with the daycare. Wasn't as much work as Sierra put it out to be. I'm just going to say that. I'm glad. It's been a quick day. We tried to make it easy on you. There was like a 15-20 minute delay game one, and we were done like 30 minutes early. So some quick games out there on the ref today. I will say cleaner play though from some of our teams. Always love to see that, and hopefully that continues as we get closer to playoffs. Any closing words, Alex? Banana duck. Wine Shogath, please. This champion's not okay. Ban Shogath instead of Scion. Any and all Shogath propaganda must be spread. This champion is not okay. Please abuse it. Go play it in your ranked games. Go beat Renekton with it. Do everything. All right. I have one thing. More Vygar. I want more Vygar. It did not go well, but I respect it. So okay, it didn't go well because bot lane was
astronomically fed. What can you do as a Vigar in that game?
They got Unforgiven. You know what happens.
Yeah.
You know what? More Vigar, more Cho'Gath. We got it all. It's all right. It's all right. We'll see it in playoffs, and we will get there, especially next week. It's so soon. Regular season. I'm going to do close with this next week. And with that, the stream is coming to a close. So a big thank you to, of course, our observers, all our partners, Rally Cry, Monkey Bubble, and you, the viewer, for, of course, tuning in and enjoying our ugly mugs up here. Have a fantastic day. Be sure to tune into the Challengers League because that stream is not done. We'll see you next time. Pat the LCS. NACL, baby. It's where it's at. Playoffs is bound. See you then.